What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM, and how some recent news over this past week strongly suggests to me that Nano Dimension is a strong candidate to be added into ARKX new space exploration ETF. We're also going to go over some more acquisition news that I think a lot of people may have missed that is very important and could lead to us determining when and who Nano Dimension is going to be acquiring in the near future. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys would like to earn 2 free stocks with Webull valued up to $1,850, make sure you check out that link in my description or in the pinned comment. You get your first free stock when you sign up for your account, and then your second free stock after you deposit your $100. And if you guys enjoy the information I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So looking at the chart of Nano Dimension, after the very significant sell-off, we did see a bounce, and after NNDM reported their earnings, they had a massive bounce of about 15-16% the day after they reported their earnings. Now, we are seeing a little bit of a consolidation between the $10 to $11 price point, and I think that Nano Dimension, with some good news and overall better market conditions, will see a lot more investment come back into this company, and we are going to be seeing any more selling pressure, as I think we've seen the bottom for Nano Dimension at this 650 range, and I think we would have to see some very bad news come out, which I'm not expecting to actually send this company going lower. So let's get into some of this acquisition news that I think a lot of people may have missed. And coming over here, this is actually the report from Nano Dimension's earnings call. So this is a statement from Yoav Stern, the CEO. So prices would be going down, though not yet. And he is talking about other companies that he wants to acquire. He's been outspoken in the past how he doesn't want to overpay for a company, and he's cited SPACs as an example. These companies are running up in value, and we've seen almost every single time that a merger is announced, the fair value of the company being brought public is seen. We saw this with CCIV and Lucid Motors, and once that merger was announced, the share price absolutely plummeted. So Yoav Stern's actually being very smart and does not want to pay more for a company than he needs to. And for everybody that is expecting me to tell him that we're going to accelerate our mergers and acquisitions, the person who tells you this, be sure he will pay too much money in M&A, and we don't intend to do this. We have a very intensive M&A activity. We have a few, much more than one, letters of intent already signed. That is very important. They already have letters of intent signed to acquire other companies, and they just have to go through the process of actually buying them out. Now, this is going to take a lot of time. If you don't know how M&A works, it's a long process. You actually have to go through, talk with all of the management teams, go through a lot of meetings, and then once you even decide that you are going to do a deal, it has to get approved by higher agencies. So that's really how it works in the United States. It may work differently for Israeli companies and if you're doing it across countries, but that is how it works in the United States. So we can see here that we are in the process of due diligence on a few M&As at once, very big. Yoav Stern has said before that he wants to acquire 1 to 3 companies in the future, and if they are already in the due diligence process on a few mergers and acquisitions, this could lead to some big news coming forward. The gates were opened a little bit in certain countries without mentioning specifics. So in 3 days, I'm traveling the first time to be able to perform due diligence on location. So this happened about a week ago, and we haven't really seen anything come out of this. Now, we can't really see any statements come out from Yoav Stern until a deal is signed, but you guys need to keep a lookout for any news coming out about any hints on who they're going to acquire. We've seen the types of companies that Nano Dimension wants to acquire. One of them is going to be essentially buying a distribution chain, and the other one is going to be buying technology. He also says that they have performed already 2 due diligences and they are already in progress in other locations that were opened before. So yes, M&A is happening, but what I have said to people I have raised money from, which are institutional investors, many of maybe shareholders of us today, Didn't hear because they never spoke with me, so I will say it again. Do not expect me to perform or announce something unless it's happening and unless we did it cautiously, thoughtfully, in the right time, just because the share is up or down. So this is a very good statement in my opinion for Nano Dimension and is very good for long-term investors. Now, these statements may sound a little bit off. He is from Israel, so these comments are actually going to be in a little bit of broken English, but you guys get the understanding. He is really focusing on providing long-term value for shareholders. So we've seen this with a couple of the hyper-growth companies that we have been talking about, specifically Palantir, when Alex Karp came on CNBC and said, hey, we're not in it for these short-term share price gains. We're in it for the long haul. Alex Karp essentially was like, I don't really care what our share price is at in the short term. I'm really more focused on and have bigger problems figuring out how to make this data analytics company the best that it can be. And Yoav Stern is doing the exact same thing at Nano Dimension. So now let's get into this ARKX situation. So ARKX is going to be ARK's new space exploration ETF. And coming over here, we can see that this is the SEC filing that ARK Invest has filed. So coming down a little bit further, we can see that the advisor will select investments for the fund that represent the advisor's highest conviction investment ideas within the theme of space exploration. And they actually directly mentioned 3D printing in this SEC filing, which is very bullish in my opinion. So if you were looking at ARK's buying behavior in Nano Dimension in December and January, you would think that Nano Dimension is one of ARK's highest conviction plays across the board. You can see that they were buying this company in large amounts almost every single day up until February hit, where they bought the dip and then, or they sold off, then bought the dip, and then they sold off again. And we have not seen anything out of ARK Invest saying what they've been doing with their Nano Dimension position over the last 3 weeks. Now, I've been reading ARK's daily trade notifications every single day for the past couple of weeks, and Nano Dimension has not been mentioned. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. So we did see ARK kind of reshuffle Nano Dimension, and in my opinion, this could be because they are reshuffling funds and clearing up some of this Nano Dimension position to put it into this new space exploration ETF. So here's something else that I think is very interesting about ARK's decision to not buy this dip in a large amount for NNDM. One, they already have a significant amount of shares, but they do have a lot of capital at this firm. And when a high conviction stock like NNDM falls a significant amount from the $17 price point all the way down into the $6 range, it would be shocking that ARK Invest would not pour so much capital into this company. And with Cathie Wood making good comments on Nano Dimension, so she was directly asked in an interview, she said, originally it used to call itself a 3D printed circuit board company. Now Nano Dimension has broadened the view of itself into a 3D printed technology device company. So we always look for where defense is putting their money. So defense is also another portion of this space ETF. And I think that ARK is gearing up to buy Nano Dimension in a pretty large amount in this space exploration ETF. Now, here is some caveats to this before we get into the actual bombshell that really suggests to me that Nano Dimension is a really good candidate to be added to this ETF. So ARK was buying this company when it was around $1 a share. And as you can see over here, that Nano Dimension is currently trading at 10.20 and in the after hours period on Friday. Nano Dimension was trading at 10.22. So this is about almost 1,000% increase from where ARK Invest was originally buying Nano Dimension. Now, they may not want to buy more of a company that they've already made such a significant gain on, but we did see previously ARK Invest buying at this $10 level. So we are just going to have to wait and see what they actually plan on doing once this space exploration ETF is released, which it could be released as soon as March 31st, according to the SEC filing, but it could be later as well. The reason why people think it is going to be entering into the open market on March 31st is that this, you can see right here, 75 days after filing pursuant to paragraph. So it is proposed that this filing will become effective 75 days after, and that's about March 31st. Now, that's when this filing becomes active, and that doesn't mean that this ETF is going to be coming out on March 31st. In my opinion, it's actually going to be coming out a little bit later. But let's take a look at the absolute bombshell that I really think gives Nano Dimension a great chance at being added into this ETF. So a key part of this ETF, everything that it revolves around is space and defense. So Nano Dimension's first ever additively manufactured electronic monolithic RF communication circuit has been sent to the International Space Station flight study. So this is big. This is the first time that we've seen Nano Dimension actually get involved specifically in space and having their products sent up into space. Now this, in my opinion, makes them an absolutely great option to be added into this ETF because it proves that they are actually in this industry. So we covered this in depth in my last Nano Dimension video, so I'm only going to go over it briefly in this video. So Nano Dimension fabricated the single RF board using its proprietary additively manufactured electronics process in the Dragonfly LDM system. The board includes the antenna, the electronic traces for mounting all the functional components, and the single ground plane. So this is big news for Nano Dimension, coming out with acquisition news at their earnings report, some great statements made by the CEO, and some concrete plans of how they're actually going to be going about these mergers and acquisitions. Now, if Nano Dimension gets added into ARKX's ETF, we're going to see a pretty substantial bump in the share price, in my opinion, due to what I like to call, and what a lot of other people like to call, the ARK effect. So Cathie Wood is now becoming almost the face of the stock market. Anything that she does and announces is not taken lightly by the entire market. We just saw her give a price target to Tesla of about $3,000 a share with a bull case of $4,000 a share. So most likely coming up into this next week, Tesla is going to have a significant run up, but with the overall market conditions, we really never know what's going to happen at this point. We do have a spiking 10-year treasury yield, and I do think it's going to get over 2% sooner than everybody is expecting. And when that happens, everybody might freak out. But then after it crosses that 2% barrier, we're going to see that that's nothing really to be afraid of, and we are going to be going to back to our market as usual. So that is going to be it for this update on Nano Dimension. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. And if you guys would like to earn 2 free stocks with Webull, make sure you check out that link in my description or in the pinned comment. All you have to do is set up an account, deposit $100, and you receive your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850. And when you do that, I also get a free stock. So it's a good way to help out the channel. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.